This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation. This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation.
What is going on? We are back and live. Tornado Tag. Gonna hit you with 2024 wrestling predictions. People listening in the beginning, I didn't mean to hit you with the Ben Frank exclusive twice. I forgot I added it to the video. It's a whole thing. My bad. You're gonna hear it twice. That's all there is to it. We are back. This is our second installment of what we're gonna be doing here weekly. Like I said, this is gonna be usually every Thursday night around this time. Also, maybe some nights we go later or we push it to another day, because not only has this amazing podcast led us to two amazing journeys, but now we're like involved in things. You know what I mean? Like you're doing things, like you're killing it out there.
Moving and shake. Well, maybe just shaking. I'm not doing a whole lot of moving.
Yeah, you're doing both, man. You're killing it. I'm super proud of you. Going into 2024, I am completely unbooked, and you are just taking bookings. You're killing it.
I should have put up that big available for 2020. It's not too late. I can still do the I'm available for 2024 bookings post that everybody's.
You're doing something now that we were kind of doing when the podcast started. You're kind of helping booking in a company.
Yeah,
you know?
let's not. No,
everyone run the VP.
I'm helping out where I need to help out. I'm providing advice when asked for it and shutting my mouth when not.
That's great advice. Yeah.
That's a good thing to do.
You've been killing it at PPW, doing a lot of fun stuff. We will cover that a little bit later in the show. We're going to talk about the landscape of wrestling kind of leading up for the week of things been going on. This week is kind of hard to do that with Raw, SmackDown.
I don't think it's going to be that hard.
Well, Raw and SmackDown, we have really nothing to talk about because
Raw was a
holiday
show. Yeah. SmackDown was a gimmick show. Raw was the best of, and then Wednesday happened.
Yeah, we're gonna have conflicting opinions on Wednesday. BP is not feeling AEW right now,
I'm really not.
I don't get it, BP, but we'll get into that. We're also going to go over some World's End predictions. So if you haven't already, go over to digital.pro wrestling scorecards, sign up, play along with us. And we'll go into that, and then we'll get to our end topic towards the end of the show here of 2024 wrestling predictions. We don't really have a structure. We're going no tag rope. This is about as tornado tag as you get. We're just like, hey, me and BP are just two brawlers who are just going in there with no sense of direction in the match, and we just call it in the ring. That's essentially
like AEW's booking. That's how you do a segue. That's how you do a segue. That's okay though, because we'll all make it up the week of the show, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what they do. They kill it in that aspect. You're just upset that your guys aren't getting booked properly.
I'm fine with the way my guys like Danielson should have lost that match. He should have lost that match.
Okay,
that dude doesn't want to win a title. That dude doesn't want to win a tournament. and I get it, and he's doing the right thing. He knows I'm winding down. My time as a full-time wrestler is just about over.
Yeah,
and I think he did what you should have Bryan Danielson do right now. He had a great match, and he put a guy over.
Do you remember any of our predictions?
No,
I don't. The
The
only one I remember is I think one of us, or maybe even me, said Daniel Bryan will win a world championship, but it won't be in America. Yet to happen. Has not happened.
Yet to wrestle in Japan. Really, I don't think
yet to wrestle in Japan. Crazy.
Not for long though. He'll be at the Tokyo Dome, January 3rd. Against Kazuchika Okada.
I was 2 years off in my prediction.
Not for
a title. Yeah. So let's get the indie stuff out of the way first, right? So let's talk about indie wrestling. You did allude to your PPW. So I'm going to put up the poster here for PPW wrestling.
Freeze frame. I got to do the big show. It is going to be Saturday, January 13th at the Slatington Expo Center, Slatington, Pennsylvania. Doors at 5, bell time 7 o'clock. Get your tickets now. ppwwrestling.com/shop. I got too good at that.
PPW.
Wow.
I can't even do the Paul Blart. Get your tickets at ppwshop.com. Yeah.
ppwwrestling.com/shop.
I see on the poster Cosmic returning to PPW. That's exciting.
Match TBD. I'm going to run through the people on the poster. If the match has been formally announced, I can talk about it. If not, we'll probably keep a little tight-lipped on that.
Yeah.
Right next to Cosmic, to her left, is VSK. VSK is always going to be there for a great performance.
He's a gem.
Right dead center there, you have the heavyweight champion Adrian Soriano of Primal Fear. 2 Sorianos left in the poster. Our left is Facade and Danny Moe. Of course, Danny Moe is going to be defending her PPW Women's title. Above them, you have the other 2/3 of Primal Fear, Matthew Oman and Gabriel Hodder. Their match is announced. I can talk about this. Their match is going to be a 3-way tag. It is them. It is the returning championship material, who was one of my favorites in PPW, Joey Martinez and Vinnie Mac, and making their PPW debut, not on the poster, but CXR, the team of TJ Epics and Chael Connors, making their
I did see that graphic. I'm super pumped that PPW is bringing them in. They brought in some heat there. I will say this right now. One of my favorite things about PPW that they're doing now towards the end of the year and going into the future is they're bringing in indie people, like people that are like, we've been saying for a minute, like, yo, and TJ Epics and Chael Connors are 2 of those guys that you're like, bring into your company. Yep. They're HC Low kids, have been on the podcast. But they are like, they're bringing Cosmic back. They're bringing in Primal Fear, and they've been rocking with them. Rembrandt's still killing it up there. Like, they're starting to bring in more people. And then maybe you get a splash of someone who used to be on TV instead of overloading the show with it. And I think that's been a good move.
One of the people you might never, and I won't go through the whole poster, but one of the people you might not recognize on that poster, right in between Bro Keller and Luca from South Philly's Finest, that is Brad Baylor.
Okay.
Brad Baylor is 19 years old. He, I believe he's out of Connecticut. He's wrestled a lot for like Wrestling Open, Beyond Wrestling. This kid is going to be on TV someday.
Yeah.
He made his PPW debut back in this a few weeks ago at Lights Out. Because of, and this is not hidden knowledge, there was a match set up. It was going to be VSK against Bro Keller, and thankfully Bro Keller was unable to make it. And I say thankfully because Bro Keller became a dad that week, and he was taking the week off, so good for him. Congratulations to him. Brad Baylor stepped in, 19 years old, against VSK and tore the house down. That crowd was electric. Kid is 6'2", could be on a 6'3", could be on a magazine cover. That kid is going places. So if you're, I say this a lot, if you're buying stock, you might have to wait for it to mature a little bit, but buy stock in Brad Baylor.
So who else is coming to PPW? Just announced recently on social media.
Well, I'm glad you two patched things up, because speaking of some local people that you would love to see on any show, Ricky Price. Ricky Price, our buddy.
The debut of Ricky Price to PPW. And BP, I got a little holiday gift for you. Here he is!
Oh, surprise.
That's a great magic trick right there.
You like that?
A wild Ricky Price appears.
Ricky Price coming to PPW. That's a promotion that's been around a long time, has a lot of prestige to it.
10 years plus, yeah.
10 years plus. AJ Styles. I mean, you name names. They have been there. They walk through that roster. And you look at guys like Action Andretti, who have been there and then moved on to bigger and better things. Casey Navarro's of the world. And now you make your debut in this company. How do you feel?
Bro, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited because I've been eyeing PPW for a while. It's never worked out where I could just go to a show because it's maybe conflicting dates or whatever. But I'm gonna be at PPW for a little bit here, and I'm really excited. So January 13th, I'm pulling up, and I'm excited, man. I had a lot of stuff come out today. It's crazy, but like PPW is like, I'm super pumped about that just because, like I said, been eyeing it for a bit, and here we go. I'm ready.
You're one of those guys I told a while ago, man. I said, you're going to go as far as you are willing to push it. And I said, you need to get out and travel. You need to get out of that bubble. You need to find those promotions that's going to use you properly. And you've been doing that. And by the way, great great plug for Riley Crow merchandise.
Of
right
course.
there.
I went to my dad's birthday dinner and I rocked this tonight because, like, of course, I gotta rock the little sis Riley Crow. You know, she's killing it too. She's doing cool stuff. She's getting kicked in the face on MLW. Like, shout out,
Best debut of all time,
dude. Crazy. Like, I was so proud of her just for that. Like, that's cool as hell. You know, I love the edit someone made of her getting kicked in the face, and it's like the
Mortal Kombat.
that thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's. Sorry,
cool thing about that is we didn't plan this, but that logo made by Hunter Dillon of our one of our boys that make the logos of the podcast and makes a lot of logos for you as well as Riley and a lot of people out there. So if you're looking for cool logos like that, hit him up.
Brought that up because something's coming out soon, real soon. Hunter's working on it. We go back and forth, and then I tell him, hey, give me like a week to look at this logo because I want it to be perfect. And then
I may have seen a little bit of it.
You know it's coming then. All right,
I know
cool,
it's coming. Yeah,
it's gonna be like like Philly Mike's gear all over again, where everybody saw it before he did.
Yeah. Oh my God, that gear is good.
It's great. It is amazing.
It's cool. Really good.
Designed by
cool
Rocket
stuff.
too. Designed by Rocket.
Did you see Rocket going off the wall at H2O to somebody on the top? So you know how like the wall is right by the ring?
Yes.
He climbed the wall. Someone was standing on the top turnbuckle facing him. He jumped off the wall and Canadian Destroyer off the top rope into the ring.
It was like a 15-foot drop, just Canadian Destroyer. Like,
he's a psycho. When are you taking those crazy Rocket bumps?
I worked him in, what was it, August?
Yeah.
But I don't know about something like that, man. Like,
Rocket,
that is an awesome clip. That's, dude, like, it's ridiculous, man. I was like a 15-foot Canadian Destroyer. That's a whole North American Destroyer right there.
Yeah, that was coast to coast.
Like, damn. So he's so talented, and the stuff that he does, like, literally, like, no pun intended, defies gravity.
Yeah.
Like, he's just that kind of person.
So we're here to talk predictions, but I want to talk about speaking things into existence. Ricky Price, we have you here on the show. Tornado Tag is back. What a great way to bring the show back with having you here. What are some things going into 2024 that have you excited that are some, maybe we'll just stick with PPW at first. Who are some people on that roster that you look at and you're like, oh, I want to work that person. I want to get in there with them and mix it up.
You know who I see pop up on there, like from there all the time, is Jordan Oliver. And the reason why I want to work Jordan Oliver is because he's not from far away from where I live. I'm from Port Jervis, New York. He's from Newburgh, New York, the murder capital of New York. That's what they call it. It's crazy. But, you know, the 845 is a very secluded area. You know, I get the 570 push from the boys over at Smash and everything because that's where I trained and everything. But originally, the 845 is my home, and it's his home too. I was like so inspired seeing a kid from the 845 make it out like everywhere he's going because he's going crazy. I want that. I want to experience that with him. I think Jordan Oliver would be an awesome one. Other than that, you know how I am, Blackwell. I want them all. I want to show everybody what I can do with anybody because that's, I think, what it's all about. And if I can do that with whoever they put me with, then, you know, the magic just happens.
I can't help but feel those gears turning. Ricky Price and Rembrandt is something I would love to see.
Please. Yeah. You talk about the promos online that they'll come up with. Ricky Price, Rembrandt, Ricky Price, Dio Bando.
Yes.
That kid is like the future of PPW and has been killing it.
Not that's just a name. PPW. That kid's the future.
Yeah,
that kid is going.
Nolan Pierce would be a good one too for you. VSK, I mean, that guy's like the thoroughbred of that company. Everyone, if they want to have a match, they have to go through VSK. Dio Bando did that the last show I was at, and it was spectacular.
And the one thing
what's his name's there a lot. You talk about Jordan Oliver, talk about the snake Griffin in the grass McCoy, trying to kill it. Griffin McCoy's there all the time. McCoy, you and Griffin McCoy would kill it. Oh, here's one thing. Steven Chambers said.
You just named all those people. It's like that's why I can't pick one person because there's so many.
Facade versus Ricky Price.
The one thing I'm very excited about too is that crowd in Slatington. I've been there every show they've had since they moved venues in March of this year, and that crowd is going to love everything you do. Yeah, that crowd is going to eat up everything you do. That is a fun crowd, an energized crowd, and they feed off the energy of the talent. And I know the energy you're going to bring, so I cannot wait.
Dude, and like this is hype energy, man. Like 2024 is off to a big start already for me. I had 2 debuts announced today. Another big match. Me and Sam Thompson are going to have a match over at 5 Star in I think next Saturday. As long as I've been around Sam, man, we were trained at the same place for a while. We've never actually had a match, so I'm excited for that. Going up to Vermont. I'm going to Green Mountain Wrestling at the end of the month. Dude, like, I'm excited. Like, I'm really just I'm in disbelief that a lot of the stuff's happening the way it is right now. Ricky versus Leo, of course. Yeah,
Leo Sparrow,
man. Let's do it.
That'd be sick. Yeah. Right here it says we need Ricky Price to come to Kansas City. There's some dream matches out there for you.
Well, you know, if you're not in Pennsylvania, not live, but usually a week or two after that show, every PPW show is on the premier streaming network, so you can watch them literally across the world.
Yeah, it's a great price, and you get tons of great content, especially if you really want to support the PA scene that we talk about here a lot. You're gonna get to see Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling with PPW. You're gonna see 3 Legacies with Ricardo Rodriguez is on there. I cannot wait to go and watch that JS Hawthorne versus a mime match in entirety.
Yes. Oh, dude, it's good. Yeah. It's so good.
I seen the clip of him pulling the table out and lighting it on fire, and the crowd just going crazy. Like they bought into it, which is exactly what you want.
The crowd and Hawthorne simultaneously are like, oh, as he like lights it.
So good.
Magic, bro. I love it.
Hawthorne is a gem. It's another one out there. But yeah, PPW is an exciting thing for you. Where else are you going? Any other promotions? I know you've been doing some stuff at H2O. Making your IWTV debut out there.
I got 5 Star Wrestling out of Williamsport. I got Green Mountain up in Vermont. I got an ECPW show where me and Stax are going to defend our tag team titles right there at the end of the month.
Who's your 8x10 autograph behind you?
Oh, so this is a very unique one. This is Prince of Conaton, but it's not signed by Prince of Conaton. It's signed by Ricky Price. And the reason why that is because we were doing a show locally, and I had a bunch of family and friends there, and you know Prince is out there selling his 8x10s, and he got one of my dad's friends to buy one, and he goes, I want it signed by Ricky Price. And he goes, I'll sign Ricky Price's name. I don't care. Just give me $5. And gave it to him. And I got this one, and I got a Rob Chase one too, because for some reason I got a Rob Chase one too. So I got 2 of them. But I keep this here because the Prince is my man. Prince is a dog. He's spent a lot of time with him at ECPW on the road. And he's a good dude, man. And someone who I'm very happy that I met very early on in my career. And him and I just had a really fun match back in November. That was a match that I wanted so bad for a long time. We got it. We had an awesome time. But that's why that's there. Yeah, it's a Prince of Conaton.
One of the things I'm super proud of, and I'm going to peel back the curtain if I can completely break kayfabe, but our rivalry, right? I mean, the funniest part about that is I was walking into a venue, and one of the people working it was either Backbreakers or was it Smash? But as I was walking in, one of the roster members who I thought was smart, you know what I mean? It was like, yo man, be careful, Ricky's in there. And I was like,
oh, it was probably MIT. It was probably MIT because he's that dumb. Like he really is. That's that's my rival. Like he's he would be that dumb. So it would be him.
Yeah,
that was probably
it wasn't him
because we started it at the Backbreakers one. I remember coming up to you and being like, "Yo, bro, you want to do Michael Cole and Bailey and just see where it goes?" Yeah. And you were like, "Fine." And the entire match, I do something to Damon Dante and go, "Blackwell, you watching this?" And then it bloomed.
Yeah, and when we really sat down and talked about it, we said the reason we want to do this is for both of our contents and challenge ourselves to get better on the social media and do those bits. And the goal is at the time I was kind of hot when it came to like working a bunch of different promotions, and you were still coming up and you only had like a handful. And then all my momentum died because of my life changed. But like once people seen those rivalries, I had people at other promotions coming to me like, yo, how do I get into a rivalry with you while you're on commentary, and how can we do that? And then everyone's like, oh, that's really funny, and everybody wants to do bits and skits with Ricky Price, and it's just like it worked. It the exact intention of us doing that catapulted us both to have more people be like, that was fun, I enjoyed watching it, how can we do more?
And that's what I think, dude. If so many people did that, they'd benefit so much from everything we're doing. We had a lot of fun doing that. Week at the show, we'd be like, oh, what do you want to do today? Yeah. You want to know who I do that with now? I do that with Grey Wolf of all people. Me and Grey Wolf
it's so good.
Like, what do you want to do next?
Yeah, because he's for how serious he portrays himself. He is not afraid to peel that character back and be comedy with it, and he's gold when he does it.
Dude,
Mhm.
he's so smart. He's actually one of my trainers at this point.
Yeah.
I love training with him. He's kind of lit a fire underneath me again, and something that kind of like maybe not dulled out so much, but something that I kind of needed. I needed like someone to be like, "Hey, bro, we got this." And Grey Wolf's been that guy.
Yeah.
So we have fun with the bits that we do and everything, and it might lead to something really, really, really cool sooner than later. Stay tuned.
I got to make a cameo one of those, which was fun. I got to show up for the gummy bears when you and Grey Wolf ate gummies at the
Dude, that
sanctuary.
one is so funny. Like, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but that one's great.
My favorite Grey
Like-
Wolf memory, sorry, Ricky, was the one Camp Leapfrog skit that I helped kind of produce for the last Camp Leapfrog show, where it was the Creep Frog, and every match was horror themed, but it was different kinds of horror. And Grey Wolf's match was an 8-man tag. It was Scooby-Doo themed, and Grey Wolf Tyrant were the bad guys with Blackstrom and Mike Skyros. And they were the evil, like, Scooby-Doo villains chasing around the baby faces, chasing them all around this garage. And one of the baby faces was JC Storm, and for Halloween she was dressed as a lifeguard. So we had JC Storm do the slow-mo Baywatch run, like as they're running through the hallways in Scooby-Doo. JC Storm does a slow-mo Baywatch run, and as soon as Grey Wolf sees that, he's like, I have to do that too. I have to do that too. So he does.
He has
the
no
slow-mo.
shame. He really has no shame. He's ready for everything. And that's what's so awesome about him and his character, because it's just magic. Again, I'm going to say that over and over, but that's what it is, man. It's magic. And I'm super thankful for that guy. But he is essentially my new Blackwell, because we finished our thing and that picked right up. And for me, doing the content and the skits like that, that's like, I'm telling you a story over time without you even really realizing it, because we're going somewhere with this. Just hang on.
Yeah.
We've been able to do this for probably 6 months.
I just showed Lily the one where I filmed at Smash, where Gavin dressed up as you, and then I had Gavin wear the clown nose and wig, and he acted like you, and I was like, Ricky Price, my buddy, and Gavin's like, Blackwell, you're a weirdo, but I love you, and I'm like, Ricky Price loves me, like.
That was good. I think that was the same day we did the swirly one.
Yeah, yes, that was a swirly one.
I did one, I think, that same day with MIT and Gavin, where MIT is going to get a haircut. Gavin's like, MIT, we're going to give haircuts out. And he sits down. I dress MIT up like a clown, and he opens up his eyes and sees me, and I hit him and dip. And, dude,
the box of chocolate ones was good. On the way to the show, I was like, I'm buying Ricky chocolate. I have a bit idea. Like, that was, we were in a store. I'm like, this is hilarious. My favorite line was, their Russell Stovers are top quality. I just remember saying
that was the day we're in a random CVS and we run on the Gary from Smart Mark video.
Yeah, so random, so funny. But listen, I don't want to keep you too long unless you want to hang out with us for the show. It's completely up to you.
Let's hang out.
You want to hang out? So we're gonna go over some this week in wrestling. WWE's been a little had nothing really to talk about at the moment because of everything that's going on with the holidays.
Actually, not entirely true. Okay. Because they didn't have Raw was a tape, or SmackDown was a pre-tape. Raw was a best of. But then the day after Christmas, December 26th, they broke their record for the biggest gate ever for a non-televised event with their Madison Square Garden.
How did they do that?
Well, it helps when you're gifted the biggest star, the most talked about star in wrestling, because Mysterio. The other company can't get out of their own way. Yes, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
No one else.
But yeah, CM Punk has his first match and it sells out, and he won. He beat Dominic in trunks. He wore he went back to trunks.
He was a young boy. He was like wearing black trunks, black knee pads. Apparently his new gear didn't fit him or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was decked. I want him to do the Boston Crab. He's just wearing black boots, black trunks, black knee pads.
Yeah. So that's kind of going down right now. The biggest things in WWE is the Judgment Day stuff that's going on. NXT has been a lot of fun.
Royal Rumble's come up. Royal Rumble.
The only thing on NXT that I did not enjoy is they have a tournament going on, but the tournament is like rounds. It's like MMA rounds, and like you have like 3 British minutes. Wrestling. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't like it at all. It took me right out of the show. But the rest of NXT
is that the Heritage Cup?
Yeah, I don't like it.
That's how they structure those championship matches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's they do 5 rounds, 5 3-minute rounds, and if you score a fall in the round automatically ends. You move on to the next one, or if you don't do anything, you don't get any points. It
Yeah.
adds its own little uniqueness to it. But dude, Noam Dar he's that guy. So you put him in the spot to do something with a unique stipulation like that, man. Like he's making the most out of it. And that's why he's had the Heritage Cup for as long as he's had it.
Yeah.
And it's a spin on the old world of sport where it was rounds-based wrestling. That's how they did wrestling in the UK forever.
Yeah, it's just like it's hard to believe when someone eats a finisher and then they're like, "Oh, go to a corner and you get 3 minutes to collect yourself," and they just get back up and start fighting again. It's just like, okay.
It's almost as hard to believe as somebody flipping babyface to heel 7 times in 4 years.
Hey, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. When you're good, you're good. Anyway, we'll get into that. Me and BP are gonna have a little spout here, a little couple spout.
Ricky's gonna be the referee for this.
Yeah. Imagine that if you would have went back 2 years and thought Ricky would be on Tornado Tag being the mediator between me and BP. Wow, the way the world has changed. But AEW this week, we got the conclusion of the Continental Classic. We found out who won the Blue League and the Gold League.
Not quite. The conclusion's the pay-per-view, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we found out who's going to go to win for the finals for the Continental Classic. We found out more about the Devil. We found out.
We did? What did we find out about the Devil?
Well, him and Samoa Joe are in cahoots.
Joe is working with the Devil. He's not the Devil, but he's working with the Devil.
I think we pretty conclusively narrowed down that MJF is also not the Devil.
Yeah, I think MJF is ruled out. But let's kind of start with that one. Who do you think are the new tag team champions?
The Kingdom.
That's why my opinion. It's Bennett and Taven. I think it's the Kingdom.
Yeah, I saw someone point out, like, look at that guy's facial structure, head structure.
Mike Bennett.
It looks like Bennett. And
Mike Bennett has a
stocky, and it looks just like it looks like him. So I think I was sold on that. So I think this ends up being Adam Cole, because then I saw another thing on Twitter, a little theory. It was like Adam Cole was the one who said, "Hey, go get Samoa Joe's help, MJF. Hey, give him another title shot, MJF. Samoa Joe's your guy, MJF. Like you could trust him." Until this,
Adam Cole's going to be a great Devil when he finally unveils and he's doing his heel Adam Cole stuff. It's going to be so good.
They needed to be good to save this thing because it is not good right now.
It took a dive like 2 weeks ago, and then last week it kind of saved. It started off bad, and then the swerve plant.
That was an interesting little.
People were like, "Ooh, I wouldn't hate if it's Swerve." Like, you know what I mean? Because Swerve is killing it.
I also think it's going to be Adam Cole, but I read something today that made me think of another alternate thing that I wouldn't hate. I actually think if you did it right, it would be very interesting.
Okay.
Because I know you're a little bit bigger fan of it than most, ABJ, but the reception to this Devil thing has been mostly negative. It's been, it's the Black Scorpion, it's aces and eights.
I disagree. I love it.
I think most would say
that's a traditional reaction to anything on the internet.
It's drawn on a little
because we aren't figuring it out yet.
I think it's drawn on a little too long. I think Adam Cole is a logical conclusion, and I'm not going to be mad if it's Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole will do a great job in the role. But I saw something where it was just basically with like kind of the clusterfucky end of that. I'm sorry if you don't want us to curse on this.
You're fine. Curse.
But I just thought that it was rushed because they were a little late. They were going over time, and then they did all this cheating, and like they hit MJF with a pipe. He's already hurt. It's a handicap match. He gets pile driven, and then they still have to do the feet on the ropes cradle in front of the ref, making the ref look awful. But I saw something on Twitter earlier. It was like, this has gotten so bad that even if it doesn't make sense, you have to get somebody that can deliver a turn like a Danielson or a Christian Cage. I think Adam Cole can handle it though. But it made me think, like, what if, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, it probably won't. What if the Devil was Orange Cassidy? And that's how you get him a little more serious, a little more higher up the card.
First off, Ryan, I know what you're trying to do here, and how dare you? You're trying to change Orange Cassidy, and I don't like it. We talked about this in Orange Cassidy is fine as Orange Cassidy. He's a little losing his mind. I like the character development, but Orange Cassidy as a Devil, no bueno. Keep that guy golden babyface. I'm telling you, he will be world champion as that character. It will happen. I promise you. But anyway,
at this point, anybody can be the world champion.
The Devil is pretty monotone when he talks. He kind of just stands there when you see him very effortlessly. I don't know.
Because he can't walk.
Didn't think about that
ankles
right
hurt.
now.
His ankles hurt.
It's probably going to be Adam Cole.
Yeah.
But
if Adam Cole doesn't break his ankle, they probably would have revealed the Devil a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Yeah, and there were some unforced errors here, and I think that has
MJF has the worst luck. He has the worst luck. Every time he has a conclusion to a major story, something crazy happens, and he has to reboot the entire story halfway through when he puts so much work into it.
That's only going to make him better at what he does, though. And he's so good that he's made everything work with this and everything else that he's done. And that's what happens when you're good.
I think it's going to. So I don't think Adam Cole is revealed as the devil right away. I think the devil is going to eventually come out as being Kingdom, where I think it's going to be Strong. It's going to be O'Reilly. It's going to be Bennett and Taven. And I think O'Reilly coming back is going to be the big thing that everyone's going to be like, oh my God.
O'Reilly back.
And then MJF, and then Adam Cole maybe does something where he's like, oh no, I've been pulling the strings the whole. Like, I think they can. It depends how injured he is. Like, they can reveal the whole Devil squad, but maybe not just the Devil yet. You know what I mean?
You can't stretch this out much farther. It's at the breaking point.
But I will say this: if Adam Cole does what Britt Baker did when she hurt herself, instead of disappearing and being on screen and working through an injury, that changed Britt Baker's career.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Like, even I'm thinking more of the Hart Foundation. Like, for the first couple of months of the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he could do a little physicality, but Bret Hart, for like the first month and a half, 2 months of being a heel with the Hart Foundation, he was in a wheelchair for a lot of it. Like, he had a minor ankle injury, but they sold it with him in a wheelchair. You can be heel Vince. You can be a heel and not be in matches, not have a lot of physical contact. They're called managers. They used to have a lot of them. They don't do it a lot anymore.
Yeah, but MJF can bring back the Dynasty with Hammerstone and Holiday. I wouldn't hate that. But I think essentially what's going to happen is MJF's team that's going to come back and help him. Even the numbers is going to be the acclaimed come back and help him out. I think maybe somebody else gins in. But my opinion, my prediction is the person who's going to turn the corner for that MJF team and help him conquer the beast of Joe is going to be Wardlow. Wardlow's going to be like, oh, you actually changed as a human being. You're not that bad. Let me help you. I think Wardlow's going to be bloodthirsty for MJF and then be on team MJF. I think that's how it turns around for him.
Then why would they doing these whole things where it's like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. The only way that works is if he does that and then he turns, because I told you I'll get you when you least expected it. But then at that point, MJF is Hulk Hogan in the 80s and all his friends hate him.
I think
which
MJF
isn't the worst
the
thing
belt.
to do. I do.
He loses the belt Saturday.
Oh, I definitely do too. I think
why do you call the pay-per-view World's End if this is his world ending in his hometown? He's going to get fucked over harder than anyone's ever been fucked over, right? In his hometown, nonetheless, and his world, his baby, the Triple B, man. That gets taken away from his world ends.
Especially if the rumors are true.
Yeah, the storyline of him contract, like that's the storyline going into 2024 is the bidding war of 2024. He can be like, yo, I'm sick of this. I'm being shot out from every corner. Like, no one's here. Like, I'm leaving. I'm going to a different company. Like, he can play that story out.
And then if he's smart, he does what Brian Pillman did and says, hey, Tony, the best way to do this is to actually give me my release. And then he signs with WWE.
I don't think he's going anywhere, but I don't either. I wouldn't hate him anywhere he goes. I think he's earned his stripes. But let's get into real quick before we get into our predictions of the new year. Let's go into our pro wrestling scorecards. If you haven't played along, the pre-show I don't really know much about, but I know there's a battle royal going on for to find out who's going to win a future title shot with the TNT title. Any predictions there?
Like a Money in the Bank, like anytime. I'm gonna say I don't even know who's. There you go. That's a good one. I'm gonna be kind of adjacent to that. Somebody that's close to Christian Cage. I'm gonna say Luchasaurus because if you remember, they teased a few months ago and then they did nothing with it. That's gonna be a theme. They teased a turn for Luchasaurus in the segment with Christian, with Nick Wayne, with Adam Copeland. The problem is they did like 80 things in that. They did like 9 months worth of booking in 15 minutes. And it kind of got lost in the sauce there. I think Luchasaurus wins, and then you have that whole thing like he could cash in on Christian at any time.
All right, so hear me out, right? Luchasaurus cost Christian Cage on Saturday. Christian's going to do some cheap Christian Cage shit. It's no DQ. Luchasaurus cost him. Edge wins the TNT title. Nick Wayne wins the 20-man battle royal to get that, shot anytime he wants and takes it away from Edge. And then that can keep going in its own little thing.
I love that, but I want Nick Wayne to form a tag team in AEW next year, and I want Jordan Oliver to get signed because the rumor was they were trying to buy the rights to their name, their independent tag team.
East West Express, yeah.
East West Express. So if AEW was trying to file that trademark, they have eyes on Jordan Oliver. And if Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne are the
As
new
they
hot
should.
tag team, God, sign me up for that.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, dude. You know who else has been really awesome to watch, and I hope I'll get into predictions later for that. But dude, I love Top Flight. I want that team to do cool things. Like, I think they're fun to watch. Yeah. So the Battle Royal. I'm torn. I'm torn with that one. Shit. I'll have to come back to that. I can't think of something but the FTW Championship will go on the line. Hook versus Wheeler Yuta.
Hook.
I think Hook wins, but I think it's a chance to really see what Hook's about as a professional wrestler, because Wheeler Yuta is that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna show if he's good or not. Like,
For sure.
It's got to be like a showcase match for Hook. He's got to like really, really go out and have a fucking awesome match.
Yep.
You know, and Wheeler Yuta, he's the guy to bring it out of him. Obviously, like Yuta's like you said, Yuta's that guy.
Yeah,
So
Yuta's been doing. Unfortunately, he's another one who's been doing a lot of great work on ROH, and not many people are seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have up after that, we have Miro versus Andrade.
I saw a great joke on Twitter today where it said, "Winner gets their release" is the stipulation for this match.
Yeah, they've been both having a rough time with their booking in AEW, but a lot of that, I think Miro was just like away. Like, I just think he was doing other things.
The rumor, and who knows if this is true or not. So, preface by saying this: the other thing that's been talked about is Miro might be one of those guys that's kind of allergic to losing.
Yeah, he has a hard time when it goes to that. But with that being said, it's interesting because this is one of those matches where I think they really showcase who they might be going to the future with. And I think the way they've been booking that tournament, I think Andrade might take this win.
I picked Miro just because I think Andrade may be on his way out for real, all jokes aside.
Yeah, Charlotte signed that 10-year deal. I can see him going back.
I'm going to say Miro because I think the story they're trying to tell is CJ having all her clients, and Miro doesn't want that to happen. So he's eliminating them one by one by one. And when he eliminates Andrade, who's she going to go to next? Then that's the next one, and so forth until eventually CJ and Miro just finally say, hey, let's just do this together.
So the guy that I've been feeling that I think is destined to be a world champion in 2024 has to go through a little bit of a speed bump of a storyline that I forgot was existing.
Hey, remember this?
Yeah. So
this certainly wasn't. We had to throw shit together 5 days before the pay-per-view.
So Swerve Strickland is going to take on Keith Lee. And this is my gripe with this. I don't mind Keith Lee. I know there's a lot of Keith Lee fans out there, but Keith Lee in AEW, besides being a tag team champion, which was lackluster, hasn't done anything. So Swerve Strickland just took 2 world champions, one in one promotion, one in AEW, to the absolute limit twice. He's showcasing he is the next guy of this company. And then he has to backtrack and go against a Keith Lee. I just think it's a backwards move for his storytelling.
It reeks of we don't have anything to do with this guy. We want him to get a win.
Yeah, that's how I kind of see it as well.
Which is what I think happens. And it'll be a good match. That's the upside of it. But
Swerve when I drive.
So good. Triple Crown, Eddie Kingston versus John Moxley.
Kingston.
Yeah.
The whole tournament's been about Eddie Kingston being like finally getting over that hump and winning the big one. And
the hump will now be getting the big one over John Moxley.
Yes. And the way it just played out for him to get there is perfect. So,
and
that's 2 people that Moxley put over to that always had a trouble beating the John Moxley of the company, and that's Cassidy, and now it's going to be Kingston.
And the real loser of this match is the Ring of Honor title, because now it is in a Triple Crown where it's on the same level as the least important men's singles title in New Japan and like the 8th men's single title in AEW.
Yeah, it's a rough. I don't understand the Triple Crown thing. I was kind of hoping it was just like every year they do the tournament and then you win the Triple Crown, then it means you could take a title shot somewhere else. I don't like 3 titles being put together.
Well, it's because of All Japan's Triple Crown, and that's another reason why I think Kingston's winning it, because that's going to mean something to Kingston because he's an All Japan fanatic.
Yeah. All right. We have the TBS Championship, Julia Hart versus Abaddon.
So the theme for the women's matches on this show are 2 good champions against people who, why are they wrestling that person? I like Abaddon, but I think they could have done more to establish Abaddon as a threat, as a challenger. Has Abaddon even been on Dynamite? I know there's other shows
here and there.
Dynamite's
She's
her
been doing
flagship.
more on the Rampage side of things and the Dark. Abaddon took some time off, worked on their body, lost some weight, put some work into their.
No, I have no
Yeah.
problem whatsoever with Abaddon.
I think personally for this one, for me, I think Julia Hart retains, and I think she gets help from a new member of her House of Black. So I think Sky Blue is kind of already is aligning herself with her, and the other person that has been missed by Julia Hart that I think makes a heel turn in her hometown is Willow Nightingale.
You're doing a lot of heel turns in a little bit of time in that point.
But Statlander too. Because Statlander's kind of in that like little story right there. I think she just wrestled Sky Blue last night, right?
Yeah. I personally like the Statlander. I love her. She's one of my favorite women on the roster. I think she's a gem. I've loved her since the independent scene days. I'm a huge fan, but I don't like her not as the alien. I think too many people got in her head and said this alien thing is stupid, but it meant something. If you actually know her as a character, the alien thing wasn't an alien. It was because she feels alien. Like she doesn't feel like she fits in because she has social anxiety and she doesn't like to go out and do things, and she kind of keeps to herself and she's reserved. And that was the premise of her character. And now she's doing like the Zoolander thing, and I get it. It's funny, but like, I don't want to see glam version of Chris Statlander. I want to see something that stands out for like maybe an introverted person who goes out and wins a title. You know, like I was a fan of it, and I think too many Cornette fans got a hold of that booking and made her change it, and she had to change her character. And I'm not fully feeling it yet.
I just think again that the one issue I have is if you do like a Willow turn or Statlander turn, you're talking about like 3, 4, maybe even 5 turns in a week. You are getting firmly into Vince Russo territory at that point.
Well, you're setting up the new year with all new stories and new stables and factions, and
you do it over time. If you turn 80 people at once, none of them mean anything because like, okay, a turn. I just saw a turn on the last match.
I do think that's like the thing that AEW suffers in is like lack of knowing who's a face or a heel.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the biggest things here too is too many matches on this pay-per-view.
That's every AEW pay-per-view. That is literally every AEW pay-per-view has like 13 matches and it's 5 hours long, and I'm exhausted by the end of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. WWE has been doing like 3, 4, 5 match cards on pay-per-views, and I think it flows better.
I think I mentioned this last week. If I were elected if I were to somehow usurp Phil Stamper as the president of wrestling, the first executive order I'm writing is, you need to give me a good reason to approve a show that's longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, I totally agree. 6 matches should just be it.
No, 8. 8 is good. 8 is good. 8
think
matches is fine.
That's too many.
Like 2 women's matches, a tag match, a few singles matches, 1 gimmick match. You're good.
Yeah. TNT Championship, Christian Cage, Adam Copeland.
This could go a lot of ways. I think we talked about it a lot on the Battle Royal. I think it could be Copeland wins and Luchasaurus screws him. Christian wins, Luchasaurus screws him.
And still, I don't think he loses it.
He's got
something big happens in the finish. It really could go either way. I think Luchasaurus plays a big part in it because he's been absent for weeks. Yeah. And this is essentially the big match of the feud. So he's got to play a role one way or the other. I think it makes more sense for Christian Cage to keep the belt because he's been so good in that role. And Copeland can lose, and it could still like be whatever. He got screwed over by Christian of all people.
The other thing with that is that's what you just did on Dynamite. So you're doing it again. If it's a pay-per-view, you don't want to do the same thing you just did on TV. Yeah, would be the only issue I have with that. This is also, I want Jeff Jarrett to be the agent for this match because this is going to probably be the Memphis bullshit match where anything that's not nailed down is used as a weapon, and there's 8 run-ins, and somebody's going to get tarred and feathered, and somebody's going to kick out of a nuclear bomb shot.
So this next match, I hate this match. I hate everything about it. So we were going to get Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Jericho and Kenny Omega for the tag team championship.
Remember when I said a few minutes ago about doing 9 months of booking in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
That also happened on Dynamite last night in this segment.
Yes. So instead of just saying, hey, Jericho just going to find a new partner and they're going to do a tag team match for the titles and just go for it, let's eliminate a tag team title match, and let's make it a four-way tag match. So you're getting the members of Team Stark, which is essentially Callis family plus Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher will take on Team Jericho, which would be Jericho, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and everyone's favorite, Darby Allin and Sting, because that's what we want.
I was explaining this to somebody that didn't watch the show, and they're like, I'm like, all right, I don't know if I can keep watching this AEW show. They're like, why? And I'm like, it's just the booking.
I love Jericho, but this is, I hate what he's been doing lately.
I think the last time I actively enjoyed Jericho and AEW was the Orange Cassidy feud, and that was in 2020.
Yeah.
Jericho's so much better as a heel too. Like when he does his heel work, he's so much better at it and believable. When he's a babyface, it just doesn't feel as authentic. And I think obviously, Omega having the issues he's having plays a big role in the scramble to put 8 men in one match.
It was an audible
on TV or on a pay-per-view.
It was an audible for sure.
I still would have kept it a tag team match.
But now that is officially a little over 4 years. That is officially. I have some stats on this. This is officially the 7th turn for Sammy Guevara since AEW. He literally turned the first night, the first Dynamite in September of Labor Day of 2019. So in 4 years, and 3 months, he has turned 7 times. He is on a Big Show pace.
Yeah, well, I think he's booking his
he's on pace to
maybe Big Show's his producer.
Yeah,
he's on pace to shatter the Big Show. I think the Big Show had like 36 turns in his career. Sammy's like, what, 23, 24?
Yeah.
He could have that done by the time he's 30.
Yeah.
He could have that done by the time he's 30. That would be my, like, if you're going to just go full comedy, you're going to go full bullshit with this, just have Sammy turn every 3 weeks, which is what you're doing anyway. Like, literally.
Like I was saying before, is like they have AEW has such a hard time establishing faces and heels. Like they don't give enough time for these guys to like establish.
AR Fox was another. He turned it. It was another 9 months of story in a month, where he went from heel to he went from babyface to heel to babyface in 2 months.
Yeah,
and
sorry, go ahead.
And the other thing, just one more stat on this. So because he was injured, then he was on paternity leave. Sammy turned on Jericho, which is how he formed the Golden Jets to begin with, because Sammy turned on Jericho. And then he got hurt, and then he had a baby. Congratulations. He was literally a heel on 30 years old. Okay, he'll pass the Big Show by the time he's 40.
Yeah.
So he literally on TV was a heel for a week and a half.
Yeah.
A week and a half. And this is my concern with AEW.
But Brian, the reason he had to turn is because Don Callis painted a picture and put his kid in it.
The reason he had to turn is because Kenny Omega got hurt. That's the reason he had to turn. But this is my concern with AEW, because the roster has so much talent. The matches are great. But the one guy who is the problem is the guy who can't get fired. It was when Vince was in control of WWE. It was the same issue. The guy who is the problem is the guy who can't get fired.
Yeah. Well, this next match, I'm excited for, but I'm also not. I'm going to probably sound like a hater here. Riho does not do it for me whatsoever. She is the Darby Allin of the women's division, except she doesn't even wear anything cool and she doesn't paint her face. But Riho going into any match and making it believable that she's going to win is just not for me. I didn't buy into her when she beat Nyla. I didn't buy into her when she won the title after. Like, I'm not into it. But Toni Storm needs someone to beat, and why not Riho? But Toni Storm on a amazing run right now with this new character doing fun things.
It's wonderful.
But I think it's all safe to say that I don't think anyone in their right mind thinks Riho is winning this title.
No. But it's funny, the one time I did buy Riho, even though the size difference was incredible, I think it was just the two kind of gelled together. That first Dynamite, I thought Riho and Nyla had a great match.
I gave a lot of it to Nyla, but
yeah. But it was also, I'm a sucker for that Khan, Gail Kim.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the women's version of Sting Vader, but Rio's not Sting. Rio is Spike Dudley, and Spike Dudley is Spike Dudley's a great wrestler. Like, Spike Dudley was great at what he did, but it's like I think I even said it like a few weeks ago when they set this up. I'm like, I feel bad for Toni Storm because she has to sell for Riho. I feel bad for her.
Bro, when she ran in the ring and Rio hit her with the 3 elbows that looked like they didn't connect at all, and then she hit her with a 619 that looked like a feather hitter, and then Storm had to oversell it. I was like, we have to watch this for at least 10 minutes. Like, this is going to be a full match. Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Nyla has done that match 1,000 times. That was all her. I agree. And then the funny thing is Nyla didn't feel like she was TV ready and took time away, which is insane to me. Because I want her on TV more. But the AEW World Championship will conclude this show. MJF versus Samoa Joe. I think we're all in agreement here.
No Orange Cassidy. Is Orange Cassidy in the Battle Royal?
He no Orange Cassidy on the show.
Maybe he is the devil. Oh.
Nobody was near him backstage to book a match.
That's true, yeah.
I love that. Like, all right, next week. See ya. It's so stupid, but I love it.
I do think Joe wins here. I do think Joe wins
too.
here.
I think we get a new champion. All right.
Yeah, everything I said, I think I've kind of said my piece on AEW.
Yeah. So let's get into some. We'll do a little round robin. We'll start with our guest Ricky. Go around the table. We'll start with WWE only. So unfortunately, I haven't watched enough Impact Wrestling or to have any opinions on major stuff that's going on with that company. I promise and vow going into 2024, I will watch more Impact Wrestling. And I will try to add
TNA Wrestling. Yeah,
TNA Wrestling. And I will try to add more Stardom into my life.
I think my overall thing with TNA is I'm very optimistic about at least the product. It's the same thing as Ring of Honor. The product, I'm sure, is great. It's just, are they going to be able to get eyeballs on it? That is the big challenge for anybody not named WWE or AEW right now. Can you get eyeballs on your product?
Totally agree. So Ricky, we'll start with you with the WWE. What is one of your predictions going into 2024? Now, this could be someone wins a title, someone changes, someone leaves, someone comes. It could be anything that's in the landscape of the WWE side of things.
I got to go in for WWE.
I think CM Punk wins the World Heavyweight title and Damian Priest cashes in right away and gets the biggest heel he could possibly get from that, because the world loves CM Punk again. And he's gonna win the belt. He's gonna get his story right. Or even if Cody wins it. I think if Cody wins it, it might even be bigger, but it's hard to tell because they're such different baby faces.
I think the Punk one in Philadelphia at WrestleMania would be amazing.
Yeah, the Judgment Day is so good right now, and everything they're doing is like, it's kind of like the Bloodline, but it's a little different because they are like almost equals in their own way instead of one top guy, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all thriving off it. Dominic's the biggest heel in the company.
Love him.
But it can't be him. It needs to be Damian. And what if Dominic's the reason why CM Punk loses the match or gets knocked out, Damian, whatever, But I think Priest cashes in on CM Punk to win the World Heavyweight title. I think that's how that culminates. Because
here's a question:
CM Punk doesn't need to have a run with the belt. He just needs to say he won it once.
Yeah. Who do you think Dominic Mysterio, not 2024, but in the future, ever holds the world title?
Oh yeah.
I do too. I think he'll be a world champion.
when the time is right, and it's a long way away. It's years and years away. Super babyface.
Yeah, he's going to be huge. I mean, he's already huge, but like babyface wise, he's going to be so big one day.
Yep.
It's not going to be insane. And you got to think about it, right? He really didn't do an NXT run. He just went boom right onto the main roster. Started with Seth Rollins, and look what he's done. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people were giving him crap for a while, but like that dude is so good at what he does for being so new to this level in this atmosphere, just to go out there. You can argue, he's been on TV for 20 years, but like, listen, he's killing it, and he's young, and all he's got to do is this. He doesn't even have to speak, and the whole place reacts. That's what you want. You want reaction. Dominic Mysterio for World Champ 2030.
Palm of his hand every time. It's amazing.
So Ricky's pick: CM Punk beats Seth Rollins at Mania, and Damian Priest cashes in. BP, you're up.
Here's a big one. It's the last, at least for WWE, it's the last TV deal chip to fall. And there's this whole thing. Oh, what if WWE goes to Warner Brothers Discovery? What does that mean for AEW? My prediction is WWE Raw. Now, it won't happen until I believe the deal isn't up until the fall of 2024. But I believe WWE Raw will be on Amazon Prime. I think
while
Amazon,
also simultaneously being on TV, or just
No.
Amazon Prime?
just Amazon Prime, like Thursday Night Football. I think Amazon throws them enough money to make it worth their while.
What day does it air?
Monday.
Okay. I
Amazon's
personally
not gonna care what
hate
day it
that.
is.
I hate it for everybody because like I hate the fact that I have to subscribe to Amazon to watch a football
It's
game.
something else. It's something else that's paywalled. Yeah,
And
but
most
No,
bars you go to, you're like, they're like, we don't have Amazon. We can't put that in our bar. So you can't
I
even
feel
go to
like-
the bar.
I feel like ESPN Plus might be a little more realistic too, because they got the UFC deal and Endeavor and all that.
yeah, Disney's in play.
Meh.
Disney's in play for sure.
Okay.
But I think Amazon throws enough money to make it worth their while.
Damn it, Amazon taking over the world.
I'm gonna stick with, even though I hate this prediction, but I'm gonna twofer it a little bit. Cody Rhodes goes back to back in the Royal Rumble, goes on to face Roman Reigns in WrestleMania Night 2, and loses again. Roman retains and goes for the Hogan streak.
It would be worth it for the joke, at least. At this point, who cares? At this point, who cares?
That's how you turn Cody
I
crazy.
think they need to I think Cody wants to go hard times. I think it drives him insane that everyone's taking his spotlight and he doesn't know how to handle it. And I think that's the story Cody goes with in 2024.
All right.
I think Cody goes full hard time. I think they're going to try to lean into the hard time storyline where Cody may get injured again, or he can never win the big one and he can never fulfill his dad's legacy. And I think he stretches it out longer.
All right.
I like it.
Any other predictions? I have one more WWE one.
Go ahead, Ricky.
BP, you're good. I don't have one.
All right, yeah. So I think by the end of the year, we're talking Raw, we're talking the World Heavyweight title. And I think the Damian Priest thing's a good call. I think that by the end of the year, the World Heavyweight Champion, the belt currently held by Seth Rollins, will be held by Gunther.
The World Championship will be held by Gunther.
Gunther, yes.
I disagree. But we'll see. I think he's a good transitional champion. I really do.
I don't think he's going to be champion forever.
Yeah.
I think he maybe wins it around, like, maybe he wins Money in the Bank. That's around the time he maybe drops the IC title, wins Money in the Bank, gets it off of whoever beats Damian Priest, whether it's
They got
LA
a lot of
Knight,
international
Cody.
dates this year too.
They
They're
do.
in they're in Berlin in August.
That would be a great time. That would be a great
Yeah.
time. And then he drops it at WrestleMania. Like,
SummerSlam even, because they could go Berlin and then go right to Summer, because they're I think they're calling it Bash in Berlin or something.
Yeah.
I
I think
SummerSlam would be a few weeks later. Maybe it's just
I
in
think
that time.
Gunther retires a wrestler, a legend at that show.
John Cena.
I think Gunther slays the beast and he retires Brock Lesnar.
that could be WrestleMania.
I think it either happens at Mania or I think it happens in Germany.
All right.
I think they get the beast to one of those shows. I think they do Gunther versus Lesnar, and I think Lesnar's big notch on his belt for 2024 is he retires Brock Lesnar.
I thought when you said a Hall of Famer, you're going to say the hockey man. Like, he's not wrestling. He's not
He
wrestling.
comes back for one night. No.
He just smashes guitar with Gunther, saying Gunther laughs at him. Also, another person just became a dad, Gunther.
Yeah. Do you think any more jumps from WWE to AEW?
Andrade.
No, I'm saying WWE to
Oh,
AEW.
WWE to AEW. Well, the people who are currently, on expiring non-competes count, even though the non-competes are over, because I do think Nick Nemeth winds up there.
Okay. Oh yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if Mustafa. Have you seen Mustafa Ali, by the way? Gigantic.
Really? He's
I
on the
think
gas.
AJ got big. Oh, I'm not going to make any aspersions. But gigantic.
I just want to see Ali versus Speedball Mike Bailey. I have to find
Yeah,
that match and watch it.
That's going to be something.
Drew, Steven says Drew makes the jump.
I get the feeling Drew signed.
Yeah. You know who I also think might make the jump?
Who's
Not
that?
Drew. I think Sheamus.
Okay.
I think Sheamus might make a jump.
I worry for the same reason I worry about Copeland, and he's doing okay so far. But
Yeah.
I My worry is that there are some not so safe guys in AEW, and Sheamus's back is probably worse than Edge's.
It's his neck, though, right?
He has
It's not his back.
stenosis. He has spinal stenosis. It's everything.
Shit. Do you think one more thing I'll throw out there for the crew, and for the chat? Do you think CM Punk and Triple H have an on-screen thing at all when his return is here?
No, I think Triple H is very content not being the on-screen authority figure. I think he's being very hands-off with it. That's what he did in NXT. Regal was not really deeply involved with it when Triple H was running NXT. I think what you see in Adam Pearce and what you see in Nick Aldis is what Triple H wants in an authority figure. Somebody that's not.
Does Nick Aldis put tights on?
Maybe Nick Aldis against Adam Pearce. I'd like to see it.
I just want to see Nick Aldis wrestle.
Yeah, he's very good. Adam Pearce is very good too. He just hasn't done it in a while.
Anything else for WWE going in to leave this one here?
Just to kind of throw up free agents, where does everybody think Mercedes Moné heads in 2024?
I think she goes back to WWE.
I agree.
I think she left the contract negotiations with AEW. She did just put a tweet out that says "Happy Holidays Home" or something like that, and then the way she had it is HHH. And then
Where's the Royal Rumble this year?
Phoenix. They do it in baseball stadiums now. So, no, I don't know if it's in Phoenix, but it's somewhere in it's not in Boston. It's in a warm weather. Is it? It might be St. Petersburg. It might be Tropicana Field. Even though
and with Charlotte Flair gone for 10 months, that women's division needs a spark.
Yeah. I could see Monet coming back at the Rumble. Be a big moment. Just
number 30 maybe. Yeah, totally.
Does she come back as Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné?
Sasha Banks. They brought Scott Hall back as Razor Ramon for the Hall of Fame. They brought Medusa back as Alundra Blaze.
I think, you bring her back. Like, you would obviously think Sasha Banks would be the smart thing to do because people are used to that. But you bring her back as like Mercedes Moné, it's a whole new character. And that's what she kind of wanted, right? That's what she wanted to be a little more serious and a little more her. And she's been doing that, or she was doing that before she got injured. Maybe that's what gets her back in. Is like, hey, you can do this. You can be you. You can call yourself this. We've already established that.
I think she wants to own her intellectual property in case things ever go south again. She has the bag. Like, she can't just say she's left. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors also that TNA is possibly looking to throw a ton of money at her.
You don't win a bidding war against WWE.
AEW
might be able to. They did it with Edge.
Yeah.
But I just double checked. Yeah, the Royal Rumble is in St. Petersburg, Florida, home of the Tampa Bay Rays.
C. Henry in the chat thinks Okada goes to WWE.
That's an interesting one. Okada is an interesting one.
I would look at Shinsuke and be like, I'm good. Seeing what they did to him. Like, Shinsuke never got off the ground, which sucks because I love Shinsuke.
I think Shinsuke is very happy. Shinsuke
paid great. He's getting
paid great. He's not putting his body through a lot. I think Shinsuke is feeling just fine about his decision.
Yeah. I don't know. Okada would probably make more sense in TNA, the new TNA. I don't think the general WWE audience.
Okada comes out with a t-shirt that says "Hell really froze over."
They just have him burn Vince Russo in effigy.
All right. Any other big signings or people show up at WWE?
I'm going to say Okada stays in Japan, just to kind of stay on that. I think WWE makes a big offer just because, especially if those rumors are true, that Triple H kind of wants to break the stigma that a Japanese wrestler cannot be a top star in WWE, and Okada's the guy. If you're going to make a guy from Japan your top star, Okada is that guy.
Okay.
But I think he's another guy that has a very new baby, and his wife apparently is a fairly big deal in Japan. She does a lot of like voiceover work for video games and anime, and she's a singer. So I think he thinks about it, but I think Okada does stay in Japan.
All right, let's jump over to the AEW side of things. What are some predictions? I'll start with you, BP.
I'm going to piggyback off my Raw to Amazon prediction and say they stay with Warner Brothers. And I think it may even expand a little bit where their pay-per-views get folded into Max, which is the streaming service that Warner Brothers Discovery owns. They have a thing they added to it a few months ago called, I think it's like Bleacher Report.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's something Bleacher Report branded, but I don't know. It's not
BR
a
wrestling tab.
And right now it's free. right now it's free if you have Max, but they're going to start making you pay extra for it. It's going to be like an upcharge, and they're doing it to roll out the NCAA tournament. So if you want to pay to have all access to the NCAA tournament in March, you got to pay. You got to pay up. But what do you do after that? So April, May, whatever. After that kind of wave ends. Oh well, this is going to be the home for every AW pay-per-view. This is going to be the home for Ring of Honor.
Yep.
This is going to be the home for all things AW, and I think that's going to be. I think they really take a hard look at WWE, but this is a company that is trying to shed commitments, shed financial stuff. They're talking about possibly buying Paramount now, and just further homogenizing and further making the media landscape a corporate hellscape of only a few companies owning everything. But if they're taking on that debt to buy Paramount, possibly, I don't think they want to throw $400 million at WWE for Raw.
So you think AEW gets a streaming deal 2024?
Yeah, through Max.
Okay. Ricky.
I think they downsize. And what I mean by that is like they're not running in such big arenas during the week for like collisions.
Agreed.
Maybe they get rid of a Rampage or Collision on TV. I think there's just too much, and I hate seeing people post pictures online of half the stadium or arena being empty. Like loser, you're fucking there. Why are you taking a picture of half the place being empty? I think because of all that, they may maybe downsize the arenas that they're in. Maybe just do less stuff on TV. Maybe they lose one of the shows or put one of the shows on YouTube.
I think Rampage should go to YouTube, and I think Collision should move to Fridays, but it shouldn't be after SmackDown. I think they should go head-to-head with SmackDown on Friday nights.
Oh, yeah, I think that's Rampage at 10 o'clock is tough.
It's tough to watch one show and then the back-to-back the other one.
Yeah, and Saturday it's like, listen, most
Saturday
wrestling...
pay-per-view happens this weekend, so you just pretend Collision doesn't exist because your pay-per-view is running the same night.
Yeah, go ahead, Ricky,
I think moving off of Saturday nights is a smart idea because, a lot of wrestling fans are at their own local wrestling shows on Saturday nights. Maybe your ratings are a little better on a night you're not running that. So maybe a Friday night works better for Collision. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't work better at all. Maybe you do it at an early time slot. It's tough. I feel like the ratings, you see people tweet the ratings out. It's that's not what you want for a Saturday night slot like that. Yeah. So they might have to figure that out a little better. But I think downsizing is probably a direction they take. But they downsize in a good way, and whatever that means, it means.
Going head to head with SmackDown though, that's death. That's death.
SmackDown's hot, man. SmackDown's real hot. I think it's the hottest it's been. I think they're pulling in more numbers in Raw, which is rare. It's usually Raw was the one dominating that, for as long as I kind of remember.
Being on network TV helps because people who cord cut it, but they can get over the air. They get Fox.
Fox is in a lot of homes, a lot of homes, and it's just what it is, man.
Yeah, I think because I will be there again this year. I'm going back to London. I think by the time we get to London, Swerve Strickland will be your world champion. He will drop the title because he will say it's his house in London. But I was there, and they did swerve when they drive, and they did say it was his house. But then later on in that show, the real house came out, and that was Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay leaves London as your new AEW champion.
That's a good prediction, yeah.
Something big is going to happen for Will Ospreay at that one, for sure.
I also could see Jamie Hayter walking out as a world champion as well.
Make up for not being there, right?
Yep.
I think Tony Storm should just be the forever champion, just retire the belt. That gimmick's so good. That gimmick's so good.
What if I want Tony Storm to make a custom? We need one custom title for the women. Just give one custom title,
a black and white title,
a black and white title. Just completely black and white,
or a black and white. Great. And if you've ever seen the NWA women's title,
spoke that into existence.
I don't know if they still use it, but the NWA women's title they used back when Thunder Rosa was there and Allison Kay, when Power first came out, it was this really tiny title. They called it. And maybe that's why I like that. They called it the Burke. But it was named after Mildred Burke because it was a title she had. Yeah. And it was really tiny, and it had a picture of the champion in it, a little circular picture.
Oh, NWA was doing that.
Yeah, if you did that for Tony Storm in black and white, like a black, like a silver on a black base, oh, that would be money.
Yeah, I think when Thunder Rosa came over to WWE, or yeah, AWE to AEW when she was still the champion in NWA, her title had her photo in the middle of it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it was
what I'm
still
talking
like
about.
that because for a majority of Camille's run, it was that belt.
Yeah.
And she just recently lost it, but I don't know if her losing it made them upgrade and change the belt. I haven't paid attention.
Yeah,
But Camille had that belt for
so
a while.
much wrestling to watch. So much wrestling. In the chat, let us know your predictions for 2024. We'll post some of them up and talk about them here. Anyone else have any AEW ones?
I think they still kind of are a little stuck in the mud, but I think rumors of AEW's demise are being greatly exaggerated. I know I've been very, very critical of them, but if all I need is just like, hey, we need to really make sure our booking is where it needs to be. But even if they don't, it's not like they're going anywhere.
Yeah,
it's
too much money there.
Yeah,
if they lose,
WWE's had such a good year creatively and just with all the changes they've had, that kind of could throw off any competition. So hopefully, like that, it's like stalemates and they just take off and find something new that's going to make them unique.
If they lose TBS, that's a major roadblock. But maybe that does, like you were saying, Ricky, that does make them downsize. Maybe they go to like a FX or something like that, where they're like, yeah, we'll take it, but we'll just take Dynamite. We don't need all these other shows. And it would hurt them financially, but as long as Tony and Shad Khan are willing to pump money into that thing, and boy, do they have a lot of it, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you can't keep on TV if there's no growth. If the networks are seeing like, hey, we are supposed to invest in this, and your numbers keep going down and down and down and down, like we can't keep doing that. We need to make money here. So
yeah,
and it's not like Dynamite gets off of ratings. Dynamite is routinely the top rated show on Wednesdays on cable in the male 18 to 49 demo. So the other, like, Collision struggling mightily, Rampage is struggling a bit. Dynamite does very well, and Dynamite's numbers would do very well on an FX or an FXX or a streamer. I know streaming services are evil, but if WWE does go to Warner Brothers, maybe Amazon kicks the tires on AEW, maybe Hulu kicks the tires on AEW. Yeah, who knows? There's finally enough out there where, like, it seems like WWE has lifted the boats. It's that rising tide that's lifted all boats, and people are a little more willing now than they were before to take a look at wrestling.
Yeah, I will say this though. I think I'm very excited for WWE going forward, just because I think once the Mania season's over, I think they reevaluate some of Vince's older stories, and I think Triple H really takes over the storytelling, and he can really take full control of the company and do what he wants. I think they're still showing a little bit of love to Vince and his former stories and some of those talent who've been putting a lot of work long term to some stories, but I think we get a new version of WWE in 2024, and I think it's pretty exciting to see Triple H run that.
And they're just so deep. They're so deep. Like, if you just look at their baby faces they have right now, it's Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. Those are 4 super over. CM Punk. Those are 5 super over baby faces.
Does Randy Orton close in or tie the 16 mark?
If you're counting the world title, maybe. I don't think they're going to be in a hurry to take the title off of Cody if he wins it. Either if you think Roman's going after Hogan's mark, he's probably keeping it until WrestleMania 41. I personally think Cody does win it this time. I think if you don't, I understand, like, the money's in the chase and all. I don't really believe it. The most successful company ever was one that always had a babyface champion, WWE. But I think if you don't pull the trigger on Cody this time, unless he's not in the main event, if it's Roman versus Cody again and Cody loses again, you've killed Cody. I mean, he's going to be over. He's going to be popular. He's never going to be your A1 John Cena.
He wants that sympathy push for some reason. He wants the fans to sympathize for him, and it's just like you're not that character.
There's a difference between I have sympathy for that guy and that guy's a loser. He's never going to win the title. And if he fails again, he's a loser. He's never going to win the title.
I just think that's the angle he wants his character to be. I think he wants to be a martyr.
Well,
I think he wants,
and that's when you say, Cody. I understand what you want to do. You're not the booker.
Yeah,
I am.
Yep. Some in the chat, and then we'll get out of here. Orange Cassidy wins the TNT title as a prediction. The Guns win the AEW Tag Team title. Wouldn't hate that. I love those guys. The Devil will be Tony Khan.
That was a joke.
AEW's World End will be amazing. Oh, there's more there. Hold on. Jay White will win the Triple Crown in 24. I hope Jay White, because I watched Jay White for the first time this year in Japan before he left against Okada, and I was like, boy, this guy is phenomenal. I love Jay White. He is so good. I'm completely kidding with the disappointing reveal. Bullet Club gained some gold in 2024. Okay. What else we got here? I believe that after All In 2024, that AEW will tour the UK a lot more during the end of 24-25. They'd be silly not to.
International shows, if you can afford to do them, those are underserved markets.
Yeah. Randy's the one to screw over Cody. Billy Gunn turns on the Acclaim and loses the Trios title to the Bullet Club Gold. I don't mind that. Bullet Club Gold, and then they lose them to Top Flight. I want Top Flight to be that. Julio debuting at Mania and wrecking Rhea. She better be a monster if she's gonna go after Rhea.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna wreck Rhea. I would have Rhea keep the title for the foreseeable future.
Tornado Tag will have a great 2024.
No,
well, listen, Ricky opened up a door here that we're trying to say, like, if people want to come in and talk with us every week, we will be a little more forthcoming.
This happened 5 minutes before you guys went live.
Yeah, so I got a graphic from BP about you joining PPW, and I was like, yeah, you want to come in and hang out? And you're like,
I literally got home, I changed, I walked my dog. You're like, yo, come on the pod. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. I'm not doing anything.
So the doors are open for people to come and hang out, talk. But we're gonna try to maybe not do as much topic opinion, like stuff like that. We are gonna stick to more mainstream wrestling and also some independent wrestling. Before we do go out of here, though, I do want to put over a little more independent wrestling stuff, maybe for 2024. Who are some names on the independent scene, minus obviously Ricky Price, that will have a big year in 2024?
Judy Underwood.
Yes.
I love that one.
Troy Locke.
I think Troy, every time Troy Locke hits a curtain, he finds himself more and more and more. That kid's gonna be something. He reminds me of a little Pete Dunne. Like, I think he's the next Pete Dunne.
Troy's special, man. Like, he's got something going. He's got a great personality. He's got a great look. Like, he's special. He's gonna be something. He's gonna be someone to watch. Obviously, you're already watching him. You know what I mean? Him and June, bro. Like, they're gonna go crazy this year.
Another guy I think has a big 2024.
Yes,
JS Hawthorne.
Absolutely.
Oh, Hawthorne, of course.
I think Hawthorne. Here's my and I'm no shot to Ricky here, but my top 5 guys that I think are ready for TV this second that can show up.
Top 5, Ricky. Jeez.
I think Hawthorne, Rocket, Ahmed, Matt Mikowski, and shit. I just had my 5th one and I lost it. There was a 5th one there.
Definitely not Ricky Price, though.
I think Ricky's good, but I think these 4 can show up in NXT, ROH, and do things right away. Ricky's amazing.
Schultz has it going in the chat. Mike Skyros is a big.
Skyros is another one. Yes, yeah. But I think they're the four guys right now.
Wasn't Jordan, right? Jordan Oliver, Griffin McCoy. I'm trying to jog your memory here.
I think Oliver's definitely up there as well.
So while Matt Quay.
Matt Quay. Matt Quay's another
while
one
you're doing that, I'm going to indulge myself in another couple of plugs here. This might be a heads up that we might be not next week, but the week after. We might be doing a slight later time, or we may have a day shift for a couple of weeks because January 11th, 2 weeks from today, I'll be a fan over at Pilgrim Brewing in Pottsville, Fightertainment. Ricky Price just brought up Junie Underwood. Junie Underwood's going to be there. Jimmy Lloyd is going to be there. I'm trying to think of the other people were announced. Puff is going to be there. Tony Deppen will actually be fighting in his
sponsored by Keystone Light.
No, sponsored by Jenny Genesee.
Jenny Creamale. Great beer.
Miller High Life.
Yeah,
and Junie will be on that show as well. And then the week after that at Pilgrim, I don't know the exact address. It's on Center Street in Pottsville. I will be hosting Royal Rumble trivia, or just mostly Royal Rumble wrestling trivia. 3 weeks from today, I was too good at it. They have me host now.
Yeah, you
I'm like Ken Jennings. I was so good at the game they made me the host.
You cleaned up there, brother. But another quick plug I want to say is we had an opportunity to do something really cool, and something I'm very proud of, and I'm very thankful for. Huge thank you to AXW for bringing us in to be the voices to close out. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Yeah,
bro.
I watched the show on Facebook. You guys did an awesome job. That was fun to watch, man. That was an awesome show, especially the main event.
We got to close out that story, and that main event is a story that has carried on from Outbreak Wrestling all the way through, and to be there to conclude that. Watching Vox come in and be involved that way, and then watching Quay, me having a fucking heart attack while Quay stands up on that shaky cage.
Sky.
You have no idea, man. When Andy Header was like climbing the cage, it was popping, like it was breaking. And it was so shaky, and then I'm like, I don't think anyone's gonna do the stand on top of a deal because it's too flimsy. And Quay's like, yeah, hold my beer. You know what I mean? Like he went up there and he drove that elbow home. But man, a memory that'll be with me forever is closing out that historic building, being a great part of it for as long as it was around. Someone put an ABJ sticker on Piper's Pit, and it looked like it's been there for 80 years, and it looks so good. I swear to Christ it was not me, but it was cool to see that.
That area was a locker room for a long time. It could have been anybody.
I could have gave someone a sticker and they just threw it on like, get this out of here.
No, because somebody took the time to peel it off, and just a quick plug on that. If you haven't seen AXW Farewell yet, it is still on the Legends of Wrestling Facebook page. I know AXW's page has shared it as well. I think I saw it is up to about 10,000 views at this point.
What?
Yeah, so
2024, we're getting signed, VP.
Oh, jeez.
Bring us in for commentary.
You got to put out a graphic. We're taking bookings for 2024.
I need that guy that makes the really good graphics to make us.
He just made me one. I just got mine today.
Your graphic's amazing.
But
put it on a business card. Write it back on a business card so I can give it to commentators like you guys. The Leo Sparrow inspired.
Yes, the Leo Sparrow commentary.
And then I put all my other information on the other side. That's the goal right there.
Yeah, if you check out Legends of Wrestling, the Facebook page, they have the entire show. There it is. Well, you don't want to exposing the business over there.
It's all stuff that everybody knows.
But the show has some great talent on it. That main event cage match is insane, but you also have Richard Holiday against Anthony Green. You have Suicides on there, LSG's on there.
Who was the dude with the dreads that was in the 4-way?
GKM.
He's good.
He is.
And dude, we always compare quads. Like that's the big joke here is quads, and Ace Austin is the king of quads. Dude, that dude has some ham hocks on him.
That guy is part of the Ace of Space Academy with LSG's brother.
LSG was very good too.
The other guy's name is not popping into my head, but he's the big dude. That is if you're looking at AXW's features, they move up Highway 61 to they move up Highway 61 to Orwigsburg in a few months. That's going to be a big part of it. JS Hawthorne and GKM would be a hell of a match.
The match he had with Reggie was really good. I really enjoyed that Reggie kid too. He has a really good, like when he told me his finisher was a cross body block from the top, I was like, what? And then he does it, and it looks good. Great. Yeah, it looked amazing. He does a good cross. It looks like a finishing move. Like
I know it was a long time ago, but it was a guy by the name Ricky Steamboat did okay with that as his finish.
Yeah, that Reggie kid really sells that finish. Another match that was really good, the triple threat with
TJ Boss, LSG,
and Lance
on Hawaii. Yeah,
Lance is moving so good. Like his movement, that move where he tried to do a cannonball, but then somehow caught himself and then springboard back out of it. I watched it 3 times. I was like, he didn't mean to springboard. He just caught himself. Like, because when he flipped, he tucked his arms. And then when he landed, he just put his arms down and caught himself and then just pushed off. And I was like, this guy is fantastic. Everyone talks about Zilla and everybody else on the MLW and all these other people that were signed that are part of the dynasty that aren't on TV. Do not count Lance out. He is solid.
Just so many to mention. We can mention every single match. Mr. Ooh La La, we got to call him Mr. Ooh La La match. So good.
Got to see his nipples. Dude, taking the shirt off and everyone booing it was the best. ooh la la moment ever. He's like, he starts taking his shirt off, Rick, and they're like, no. He's like, it's so good. And Joe
Mike
Clean,
and Riley Crow were there.
Joe
like,
Clean is so incredibly talented and so over as well. He's so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's worth going out of your way. It's a free show. You can go see it right now.
Yeah.
As soon as you're done with us, go over on Facebook, Legends of Wrestling, and you'll enjoy it. And watch it over your long weekend. You're probably gonna have a long weekend this weekend, so
yep,
it's worth your time.
Everyone
despite our
stays-
commentary.
Yeah, everyone stay safe out there. Please do not drink and drive. Don't do anything crazy when it comes to New Year's and doing anything silly. Have a great 2024. I know it's something every year that, you know, if it's the way to mentally reset yourself, if you had a bad 2023 or just had a bad couple months, go into 2024 in a different mind state. Make it your bitch. Let's kill 2024. I know us at this network and this channel are going to do that. Huge thank you to the Opinion City podcast. They just recorded an episode that I almost snuck in backstage to watch a little bit of it, but I didn't want to scare them and have my name pop up in the backstage. I wasn't trying to join. I just wanted to watch. But I did
simulcast almost.
I didn't. But episode coming out very soon with JS Hawthorne. I'm really excited. That guy needs bookings. If you want to be on a podcast, and it's not the ABJ podcast, please hit up Opinion City podcast. We are a team. We are colliding. We are doing things together. Please support those guys. They're really, really good. I wouldn't give them the stamp of approval if I didn't think they actually gave a shit about the business. They are very rare. There's people out there who are trying to be independent wrestling journalists, but then don't really give a shit. They're just, they are genuinely about it.
Will you tell your chatbot to leave JS Hawthorne alone, please?
I know the chatbot is just going at Hawthorne for the emojis.
And if you're gonna say don't drink and drive, that's great advice. Also, don't ski and book.
Yeah,
don't ski and book, please.
Ricky, any last words? Any plugs you want to get out?
Follow me on all platforms at the Ricky Price. I don't know.
Is Jordan Oliver the top of your list 2024? Or is there anyone else out there you really want to get tangled with?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The big thing I want to do in 2024 is I want to go and have a wrestling match in Reno, Nevada. That's where I spent a lot of my life living. I want to wrestle Adam Thornstowe from Reno Scum, mostly because before I even took a bump, he works with my mom, so I knew him when he was on TNA doing that, and we kind of knew each other through that. I've never officially met him face to face, but we've chatted online. And wrestling Adam in Reno, in a city where I still have a lot of friends that would love to come to see that, man, that would be such a cool moment. Yo, I would even like to wrestle Keita Murray out there because I know Keita lives out there. That would be even cooler. I mean, I don't know. I think those are at the same level, but I would love to go and wrestle in Reno this year, whether it's against those two or just no one. I just want to wrestle out there. That's it.
Yeah, there's a name out there I need you to look up and look into. I think he's a great heel, and I think he would bring a lot out of you, and I think he's insanely talented. But there's a name I think you should look into, and I think this also goes for Schultz, for Hawthorne.
I think Schultz got booted.
I hope he didn't get booted, but look into Joey Conway.
Okay,
he's up in the New York area. He's fantastic. He's definitely someone that you should look into and try to get a match with. He's insanely talented.
Joey Conway. Let's do it.
There it is. But all right, we'll see you guys next time for the Tornado Tag Podcast. We are done for 2024. Once again, please head out, buy your tickets now for PPW at the Slating Expo Center. I don't know why that's so blurry. I apologize, Ricky. But tickets,
I think. PPWwrestling.com/shop to get your tickets. Get them now.
It's going to be amazing, so go support that. We'll see you guys next time. Also, real quick, out right now, episode with Samira. Go watch it. Just dropped today, episode with Weapon X, Matt Makowski.
Oh, yeah.
Currently out now, 5 questions with Dylan Quinn. And then to start off the new year, Monday, Cowboy Bad Billy Walker.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I got that guy talked to me. It was awesome.
You might not survive that 5 questions.
No, Billy Walker loves me. He didn't kill me. I didn't get stretched out.
Yo, go get into a ring with him. See what happens.
Never.
30 seconds. You'd be like, bro, I'm good.
Bro, I got in the ring and did like a ref spot, and he was like, "Do you want me to play a little heel and test you out?" And I go, "No." Go gouge my eyes out. All right, we're out of here.
thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.